10 Best Big Bang Theory Halloween Costumes and Cosplays Ranked. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and give this video a like. Halloween was often embraced on The Big Bang Theory because it gave the actors a chance to really show off their costumes, which frequently became the main plot point. While his friends' costumes were more elaborate, Leonard's Inspector Gadget outfit stood out with a huge propeller attached to his cap. The Pasadena gang's inventiveness and passion for pop culture were on display through their iconic group costumes, which included Raggedy and Raggedy C-3PO and the Justice League. Halloween was a huge occasion on The Huge Bang Theory, and the Pasadena gang put a lot of thought and work into their costumes. Sheldon and his pals' yearly cosplay inspirations were highly imaginative due to their affinity for science and pop culture. The one occasion when even the girls actively participated in the boys' habit of dressing up as their favorite fictitious and non-fictional figures was Halloween. The Big Bang Theory included a number of holiday-themed episodes during its more than 10 years of broadcasting. The group from Pasadena had celebrated Thanksgiving on multiple occasions. Even though Sheldon wasn't a big fan of Christmas, they nevertheless organized a few celebrations. However, The Big Bang Theory celebrated Halloween, constantly praised since it allowed the actors to really show off their clothes. At times, their clothing was also a focal point of the story, which added to their significance. All 7 of The Big Bang Theory's core characters went all out with their costumes in the penultimate Halloween episode that CBS produced before the show's 2019 finale. But Leonard's Inspector Gadget was one of the most remembered of the group. Leonard's outfit was outstanding because of the enormous propeller that was fastened to his hat, even though it wasn't as imaginative or ornate as what his pals wore. It would have been amazing to see the headpiece be able to hold a variety of accessories that he pulls out based on the situation. However, the entire appearance was already captivating. To match his lady love, Amy and Sheldon appeared as Raggedy Ann and Raggedy C-3PO when the gang descended on Stewart's comic book store for their Halloween party in the holographic excitation from Season 6 of The Big Bang Theory. Amy naturally rejected Sheldon's initial suggestion that they arrive as R2-D2 and C-3PO. They ultimately agreed to make concessions so Sheldon wore an. They might still portray themselves as a couple by using a different version of the popular Star Wars droid. The concept of time travel always fascinated the boys. Therefore, it was not surprising that Sheldon's first costume in the last Halloween episode of The Big Bang Theory was Doc Emmett Brown. Given that many of Sheldon's previous costumes either obscured his face or were hard to identify, it was intriguing to see him in something so instantly recognized, even though he didn't look like the Back to the Future hero. Amy came out as Clara Clayton, but this time Sheldon was obviously superior to her wife. In an attempt to address the show's tendency to ignore Raj, CBS tried to give him a personal storyline in Season 12 of The Big Bang Theory. Raj was the only Pasadena gang member who hadn't been married after Sheldon and Amy got married in the previous season. So, meeting Anu with his father's assistance was a treat. Anu and Raj's romance was eventually cancelled from The Big Bang Theory before they had a chance to establish themselves. But perhaps their appearance as Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the Constitution in the show's last Halloween performance stands out as one of their most memorable moments. The Middle-earth paradigm from Season 1 of The Big Bang Theory was the show's first Halloween episode. Naturally, Penny's new neighbors and their friends were invited to the costume party she was hosting for the occasion. Leonard changed his outfit and chose to dress like a hobbit, which was very cute, especially with the pointed ears. However, the kiss he and Penny experienced back in his flat was what really made his outfit unforgettable. Although it took some time for them to begin dating, this was a clear sign that Penny was growing fond of her new neighbor as well. After being compelled to abandon his initial choice, a Flash outfit, Leonard created his Hobbit costume. Regretfully, he wasn't the only one who wore the Scarlet Speedster to Penny's Halloween party in Season 1 of The Big Bang Theory. It was a fantastic situation when all 4 of the Pasadena gang boys arrived at apartment 4A wearing identical outfits. To give the impression that they are moving quickly, it was even suggested at one point that they walk in a line. Despite the abnormally long wait for young Sheldon Season 7, fans may be able to learn more about the Cooper's future from a number of hypotheses. In addition to Raggedy Ann and Raggedy C-3PO, another fantastic couple's costume was featured in the holographic excitation from Season 6 of The Big Bang Theory. Although Howard and Bernadette made the decision to attend as the Smurfs, their friends' disapproval of his incessant boasting about having visited space soured the evening. Despite the fact that the entire ensemble looked amazing, Simon Helberg and Melissa Rauch had to spend hours on the makeup chair painting their upper bodies blue to resemble the Smurfs. Not quite a Halloween episode, but it's hard to leave out any of the Big Bang Theories, the Justice League recombination. The Pasadena group joined the costume party at the comic book store for the New Year's holiday. With the exception of Raj, who was basically instructed to appear as Aquaman but not Jason Momoa's version from the DCU, everyone had their options for their own ensemble. Rather, he arrived as the ridiculous version of the role, replete with a seahorse, which really improves the ensemble as a whole. The connection between Howard and Sheldon had never been stable. They consider themselves to be close friends, although they were often at odds, mostly because Sheldon denigrated Howard as an engineer. Their relationship improved over time, with occasional tender moments between the two. However, Howard appeared in the Halloween episode of The Big Bang Theory Season 12 disguised as Sheldon, which was one of the most surprising turns of events. The hair and the entire attire were spot on. Howard and Leonard were clearly tickled, but Sheldon was not. There have been several cosplays of The Big Bang Theory. The majority, though, were either solo or pair groups. Only in the Justice League recombination could the group of friends disguise themselves as the world's finest superheroes, a real team. Sheldon as the Flash, Leonard as the Green Lantern, Penny as Wonder Woman, and Howard as Batman joined Raj. The gang somehow made Penny's boyfriend Zach Superman. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube Young Sheldon 24 channel and stay with TS.